Julian Bond's legacy speaks to the power that young people have to make positive societal change that not only is impactful now, but that lasts through generations.
An activist, a politician, and an academician, and probably in that order.
He's one of the very first persons that convinced me that leadership does indeed come from the ranks of our youth.
I was first of all impressed by the kinds of things that he was able to do, right out of college, or actually during college.
The fact that he was young shows some of the selflessness of Julian Bond.
Julian Bond was in his early 20s and was actually a young teen when he started working in the civil rights movement.
He started out his adult career very involved in the civil rights movement and the voting rights movement.
He believed that youth should be at the forefront of the fight for justice, and he demonstrated that both in his actions and in his words.
Dr. Bond's legacy is so important for my generation. He was my age and around my younger when he became a co-founder of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee.
And he shared with me what it was like for him working with SNCC at a very young age and how he was afraid too, but he had the courage and the vision and the support of people in his community and other students as well to move forward and do what they knew was right, and ended up creating a situation where not only young people during that time were empowered and really were able to fight for the change and see the change that they needed and wanted to see, but also put me in a position and other young people to do the same. And I'll forever be grateful for that opportunity.
Julian Bond, despite the obvious injustice and downright racism going on at that time, believed in the cornerstone of just democracy and that a political system could actually work to achieve what he was fighting for.
He did what the members of the civil rights movement had hoped would happen, and that's transition to becoming an elected official.
He put his reputation out there for the cause of making sure that everybody gets treated equally under the law.
Mr. Bond had so much swag in terms of his charisma, his personality, his charm. He was one of the kindest, funniest, and just most endearing people I have ever met.
To compare him to one of my favorite old movies, he was a cool hand Luke. Very cool.
I will forever continue to fight for work that he believed in and that he spoke passionately for, and I'm sorry to see the loss of such a great civil rights activist in this nation.
And I remember in class one time I asked him, when will his generation and the generation before pass the torch? He said that when I was your age, when us in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee were fighting and we were marching and we were sitting in, we didn't ask anybody to pass us a torch. We snatched it and we ran. And so that's what I think is the charge for our generation, is not to wait on someone to pass us a torch, not to wait for another generation, but that we stand on the shoulders of giants and we can snatch a torch and run with it and mark our own path.
We've never wished our way to freedom. Instead, we've always worked our way. Today we have much more work to do and work with, and we take heart that so much has changed. The changes that have come have everything to do with the work of the modern movement for civil rights. There needs to be a constantly growing and always reviving activist progressive movement across America if we're going to maintain and expand victories and our vision for the future.